Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. How are you doing today? Hope you are having a great day. Ready for some new drama from Ask a Lawyer? Let's go to the first one, about OP's sister, who demands OP shares her mother's inheritance with her. But OP's sister was disowned by their mother. Listen to the story to find out why, and of course to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. 7 years ago, my mom disowned my sister Allie after finding out that Allie is gay and was sending her then-girlfriend to school using money that Allie asked from my mom under the pretense that she was putting up a business. My mom wasn't born rich, but she worked hard and made good financial investments. She wanted me and Allie to have a good start in life, so she paid for our college education and even paid our bills until we got permanent jobs. It took Allie a year to find a job, and she stayed only for 3 months. She told my mom that she wanted to open a business instead. My mom agreed to help her and sent Allie almost $70,000 over the next few months whenever Allie said she needed money for various expenses. Allie sent pictures of receipts and permits, so we thought the business was real. But later my mom heard from a girl named Kate, who said she was Allie's ex-girlfriend. Kate said that there's no business and that Allie used the money to pay for Kate's tuition fees, for shopping, and to go on vacations. My mom was livid and cut Allie off then and there. She is very religious, so it hurt her doubly to get the confirmation that Allie is gay and find out that she lied to get money for Kate. I have no issues about Allie being gay because that had been obvious to me since we were in high school. But I was really upset that she lied to our mom and took money from her to spend on Kate. I've had a difficult relationship with Allie since then because she never made the effort to try to fix things with my mom. She said sorry when my mom confronted her, which my mom rejected, and then Allie never tried to talk to our mom again. I told her numerous times that the effort has to come from her because she's the one who messed up, but she said that our mom was never going to forgive her. Our mom died suddenly last year and left me everything, her house, 2 other properties, and a relatively large amount of cash. Since then, Allie's been trying to convince me to split the inheritance because she is my sister, and she says I know it's unfair that mom disowned her just because she's gay. I don't really want to give Allie any significant amount of money or the properties because I feel like she didn't care enough about our mom when mom was alive, and now she just wants to gain materially from what my mom left. I said I can give her a few $1,000s every month as an allowance of sorts, but she says that she is entitled to half of everything because she is also mom's daughter, and it's unfair if I kept that from her. Am I the a-hole? I don't think OP is an a-hole here. It sounds like OP's sister was disowned more for the stealing and deceit than for being gay. She didn't make much of an effort to repair her relationship with mother either. If she had been cut off for just being gay, that would be totally different, and I think OP should split it in that circumstance. Karma is a bee, and OP's sister is finding out when you screw someone over, it will come back to bite you. Let's hear if the community agrees with me. Nachos Precarioso says, "Not the a-hole. It was your mom's wishes that it go to you. Allie scammed your mom out of $70,000. She never tried to repair the relationship with her after that, and wasn't there for your mom in her life. So she has no claim to her property upon death." Runal Wazlib 97 says, "Not the a-hole. Her orientation has nothing to do with it. She scammed your mom out of almost $100K. Then she made no real effort to atone for her actions. She is clearly only out for the money. Tell her she got her inheritance early." Forgotten Troll says, "Everyone sucks here. Your mom was prejudiced. Your sister is a scammer with an entitlement complex. And you, I don't know. Your inheritance is yours to do with as you please, of course. But I can't escape an icky feeling about this situation. It feels like you are validating your mom's bigotry, even if you don't intend to do so. That said, I suggest you figure out exactly how much money you are willing to give your sister, so she will go away. Then find a good lawyer who can put your wishes to work, and make sure your assets are protected." I, 44 female, divorced my ex-husband, 47 male, 2 years ago, and have been dating my boyfriend, 45 male, since. No cheating. My ex and I were fighting a lot, but the divorce was less litigious than expected. My ex-husband, James, and I were married for 21 years. In the state of Massachusetts, I, as his ex-spouse, was able to stay on his group health insurance. In addition, the judge ordered that since I stayed home to raise our 4 kids, 21 male, 19 female, 18 male, and 16 male, that I get alimony for life, or until I, only I, not my ex, remarried. In terms of health insurance, I'd lose it if either James or I remarried. However, James has been very open about the fact that he hates the idea of marrying again, even more than he hates me still being covered under his health insurance policy. His exact words were, "Well, luckily for you, it's not emotionally or financially cost-effective for me to marry just to get you off my health insurance." For the entire length of our marriage, part of the reason I didn't work is because my ex is a doctor, and after doing calculations, we realized I'd never make enough to even get close to covering the childcare cost for 4 kids. I checked and saw that if I had continued my administrative job, I'd be making $17 an hour today. I have no chance of making even that now. My boyfriend and I are very much in love. In many ways, I wish I'd met him first. He's empathetic, and unlike my ex, he values work-life balance instead of running between a private practice and the psych ward at a county hospital to work 24/7. However, my boyfriend and I don't live together, and besides small presents to each other, we pay for ourselves. Things were good, but my boyfriend changed after I had a pregnancy scare. He said that if I get pregnant again, he wants us to be living under one roof, and not like 2 divorced parents. So he proposed. I was upset, but had to turn it down because, love aside, this was my health insurance and only source of income on the line. I didn't understand why my boyfriend was so upset and didn't understand. He is a case manager at a nonprofit, and we'd be living on half the income I'm currently living on if we take out child support, and that is bound to create tension on both sides. Am I the a-hole? Just want to add, we cannot move in together either, as the archaic family court laws would see that and assume that my boyfriend and I would be sharing finances, or I would be in some way supported by my boyfriend by the fact of us moving in together. If I could move in together with him and not lose my benefits, we'd be doing so. Wow. Well, in my opinion, OP should get off her butt and find a job, and stop relying on others. Not calling OP a greedy gold digger, but yeah, OP is not a stay-at-home mom when her kids are grown. Also, shame on OP for complaining about the ex working so much when he's been working for 6 people the entire time, even now after divorcing OP. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Entity in your room says, "I'm not trying to be a jerk with this question, but what do you do all day? What are your future plans for when kids are out of the house? There's just way too much instability for my liking in this situation. My anxiety to rely on an unsustainable income would be through the roof. But you're not me. However, I would look for some work for yourself, or else the burden would fall on your children to take care of you if something happens to your ex. Do you want that?" Miss Impant says, "OP, it sounds like you and your boyfriend need a serious sit-down. Knowing your age and the high cost of every ducking thing, I don't blame you for not wanting to remarry. That being said, look around and find something you would enjoy doing. Get a business degree and open a little shop of some sort. Go to culinary school and just learn to be a great chef, pastry chef. Open a tiny little vanity high tea place open during high tea only. Get a criminal justice degree and work on becoming a PI. The rest of your life will suck if you only have it centered on your kids. Become a new you, meet new people. Don't feel forced to remarry, only when it's right. No matter how great the guy is, sometimes it's not a great idea to marry." Another worthless man says, "You're not an a-hole, but let's summarize your situation. You've chosen a check from your ex over the love of your boyfriend. You do you, but your boyfriend is right to be pissed, and if it were me, I'd leave your butt rather than play the game of how can I get the love of one man and get money from another. That's BS." My dad is the only family I have, after social services removed me permanently from the custody of my birth mom and her partner when I was younger. My stepbrother didn't come into my life until he was 12, and his paternal side of the family are very wealthy. He's gone to top private schools and has had his university fees paid in full for him, totaling over £350 spent on his education alone. In contrast, I went to the local comprehensive school, and until my dad got custody when I was 15, I grew up with free school meals and unable to afford anything. I've also got a ton of student loans debt from university. My stepbrother has been taken on luxury holidays all of his life, whereas I didn't even get a passport until I was 18. We grew up in completely different worlds. Stepbrother has recently inherited $500K from his paternal grandmother, and when his dad passes, he's the sole beneficiary. I don't know what his dad's total assets are, but he has a very good job. He lives in a £2.6 million house, owns a Maserati and a Porsche, and goes on lavish holidays several times a year, so it's definitely substantial. My dad has told me he feels it is very unfair that he is giving my stepbrother, who he has a very strained relationship with, 50% of his assets. But my stepmom, 60 female, is insisting it is split equally between us. It has caused many big arguments between them over the years, so for a peaceful marriage, my dad has agreed to split everything equally. She will get everything if he dies first anyway, and says she would have split it equally even if my dad didn't agree now. So stepmom entered the marriage with no assets except her car. Her ex-husband had paid for everything beforehand. She stopped working after a few years of being married to my dad and lives off a monthly allowance he pays her. My dad paid for the house, the bills, and any other expenditures. He also saved up for years to build an annex apartment onto our house for her elderly mother to live in and covers all of her day-to-day expenses too. I won't inherit anything from my stepmother, and her will only contains sentimental possessions that she once passed on. She's a nice woman, but I feel she takes it for granted how much my dad does for her. Having grown up with nothing, I'm of course grateful for anything my dad leaves me, and ultimately, it is his choice, but it feels quite unfair. My stepbrother has already benefited significantly from his own family's wealth, and now it feels like he's hit the jackpot with my dad. My dad has worked so hard to become financially stable. I think because he felt so guilty about not getting me out of my childhood situation sooner, and he wanted to give me a better life. My stepbrother treats my dad with no respect, and it infuriates me that in return, he'll get a huge inheritance that my dad has worked his socks off for. Am I the a-hole for feeling upset about this? Edit. To clarify, I've never brought up my feelings to my dad about this, so there is no fight going on. I worked part-time throughout my studies to support myself, and now work as a paramedic. It's a respected job, but poorly paid in the UK. It's the principle for me, rather than the money. I do understand where OP is coming from, and that he feels he deserves it more than his stepbrother. Looks like OP's father would leave all his inheritance to OP only, if not for OP's stepmother, who is pressuring him to split it equally with her son. Looks like OP's father cares more about appeasing his significant other than doing right by OP. Maleficent Ant 2594 says, "You're the a-hole. People can make any choice they want related to inheritance. You are not owed a penny." Please Coffee Me says, "Not the a-hole, but don't count on stepmom to leave you an equal share if dad dies first. At that point, all bets are off, and considering her attitude now, don't expect anything. It is frustrating to see inequity in your and stepbrother's current situation, but stop dwelling on it. You can't change it. Stop worrying about your inheritance. If dad survives stepmom, then approach the situation again." 4Games1 says, "You're the a-hole. Take your eyes off the money. You could kick off tomorrow and never get a dime. Your dad could get divorced and remarried. He could lose every cent. It is not yours. Focus on what is yours." This story isn't about me. It's about a friend who is actually contemplating telling her bestie that their third best friend in the group, who recently passed away, was having an affair with her husband. So this is how the story goes. There's 3 female best friends, Regina, Marissa, and Julie. Fake names, obviously. Regina, Marissa, and Julie have known each other for 10 plus years, since high school. They all call each other best friends, even sisters. As the years went on as friends, they went through a countless amount of life's hardships, relationship drama, and also celebrating the years of growing together from girls to women. Not to mention, also celebrating Julie's motherhood. Well, probably about a year ago, Regina and Marissa got a call saying their friend Julie had passed away in her apartment. The girls head over to their apartment to help gather things for her funeral, clean up the place, and cherish memories of their longtime friend. This is where everything begins to unravel. As Regina decides to go through Julie's phone to find pictures of an explanation for the tragic passing of their friend, Regina decides to check Julie's Snapchat. Regina notices that there are frequent chats between Marissa's husband, Tim, and Julie. During this time, Marissa is going through Julie's closet and looking through old photos of them in high school. Regina reads all the messages between Tim and Julie. She finds explicit photos that Julie has sent to Tim, explicit messages, also time and dates of when they would hook up. Regina is baffled when finding all this out. Mind you, these girls have been relentlessly mourning over their lifelong friend that passed so young and tragically. Marissa is already having such a hard time coming to terms with her best friend's death. She's constantly posting memories of Julie and her, and having those hard days where you just can't seem to control your emotions for that person you've loved. Regina doesn't have the heart to tell Marissa truly what Julia was doing behind her back, and now that she's gone, it seems unfair since Julie wouldn't be able to speak for herself on the issue. Now, the question is Regina the a-hole for not telling Marissa about the affair her husband, Tim, and Julie were having? Or should she just let bygones be bygones? I Dream in Words says, I'm confused. Is this a year after her death? Or are they still planning the funeral? Assuming the funeral has come and gone, Marissa deserves to know that her husband cheated on her. I think it would be better to come from the husband if at all possible. Maybe talk to him and give him an ultimatum to come clean or be exposed. If the planning is still underway, she might want to wait and let everyone grieve a bit before confronting anyone. But it's a crap situation, and Marissa will probably be rightfully upset about the information being kept from her. Agitated Welsh Girl says, speak to the husband, show him the proof, and say you tell her or I do. When it eventually comes out, and it might, she will be even more hurt that you knew. I'm sorry over Julie's death, but she slept with her best friend's husband. He cheated on his marriage. She cheated on her friendship. You don't know how many people know. Don't let her look like a mug.